So the Witcher 4 trailer dropped and everybody is losing their mind. Some are excited, like myself, and some others not so much because they believe Ciri cannot become a Witcher according to the books. And they'd be correct in assuming that. I actually made a video about that, which you should definitely check out, how Ciri cannot become a Witcher according to the books. But using the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt video games, I think I can make a case for Ciri becoming a Witcher. In this video, I'm going to present, let's just say 5, we'll see how many we end up, but we'll shoot for 5 points as to why it is possible and probable why Ciri would naturally become a Witcher in The Witcher 4 after the events of The Witcher 3. Before we do that though, my name's Afan. I hope you're all doing great. I'm doing just lovely, and welcome to the channel. Like I already mentioned, I've already done a video on how according to the books, Ciri simply cannot become a traditional Witcher. But in this one, we're going to take on the video games because after all, The Witcher 4 itself is a video game and a sequel to Witcher 3. And they're building upon what happened in that game. So let's do this. See, in The Witcher 3, Ciri becoming a Witcher becomes more nuanced than in the books, as the game builds upon her connections to the Witchers and expands the possibility of her developments. While she's not a traditional Witcher in terms of undergoing mutations, the game presents strong thematic and symbolic reasons why Ciri becoming a Witcher is possible, at least in spirit. So we'll start off with point number 1, which is Ciri's combat skills and training. So we see in The Witcher 3 that Ciri's combat prowess mirrors that of a seasoned Witcher. Throughout the game, she demonstrates agility, reflexes, and swordsmanship that rival, or surpasses even, I would say, Geralt's skills. These abilities are the result of her intense training at Kaer Morhen under Geralt, Vizimir, and many other Witchers. Now there are some combat mechanics that I think will help the case for Ciri becoming a Witcher. See, when you're controlling Ciri during the gameplay, she fights with unmatched speed and grace, wielding a sword in a distinctly Witcher-like style. Her dodges, strikes, and parries align with the techniques Witchers use. That's of course because the Witchers have trained her in sword fighting. Geralt confirms throughout the story that Ciri's skills with a sword are exceptional, indicating that her training is on par with Witcher standards. Here's a direct quote from Geralt himself from The Witcher 3. "You're fast, but not as fast as me, or at least not yet." So while Ciri lacks mutations, her combat effectiveness proves that the physical attributes of a Witcher, which are speed, reflexes, and sword mastery, can be achieved through rigorous training and natural talent. Her potential is amplified by her elder blood, of course. Now, point number 2 will naturally be the role of Witcher signs and potions, because I think that's the most important one. See, in the books, Witcher signs and potions are reliant on mutations, but in The Witcher 3, gameplay does not strictly reinforce this limitation. While Ciri does not use traditional Witcher signs or drink alchemical potions in the game, she demonstrates alternate magical abilities that are arguably even more potent. Ciri has unique powers. It's her elder blood that grants her abilities such as blinking, which is a short-range teleportation which she can use during combat, making her combat style as effective as Witchers using sign, and I would go further actually, even more effective than Witcher's signs. See, Blink allows her to evade attacks and striking enemies with precision. Blink allows Ciri to evade attacks and strike enemies with precision, which mirrors a Witcher's heightened reflex, and the use of the Quen or Art sign, which one is a defensive sign, the other one's an attacking sign. She can combine both of those in just one, which is Blink. This magical ability compensates for her lack of physical mutations, proving that Ciri can perform a Witcher-like role through her own innate powers. She does not need mutations at all. And you can see that in the gameplay in itself. Ciri's combat sequences showcase her teleportation as an organic and instinctive part of her fighting style. She doesn't need signs because her elder blood grants her similar combat advantages. Alright, let's move on to point number 3, which is symbolic adoption of the Witcher identity. It's pretty clear, in The Witcher 3, Ciri's identity as a Witcher is more symbolic rather than strictly biological. The Witchers at Kaer Morhen, particularly Geralt, treats her as one of their own, reinforcing that being a Witcher is about choice, identity, and values as much as it is about mutations. Geralt refers to Ciri as Witcher multiple times, highlighting her combat skills, training, and her connection to the profession. Vesemir, the oldest Witcher, also acts as a mentor and father figure to Ciri, reinforcing her emotional bond to the Witchers and their way of life. Also, at the end of the game, the player can choose, now this is a choice, the Witcher ending, where Ciri becomes a Witcher herself, wandering the world to slay monsters. This outcome solidifies her symbolic identity as a Witcher. Here's a quote from Geralt from The Witcher 3. Ciri, Witcher. I like the sound of that. So here, Ciri's role as a Witcher transcends biology. She becomes a Witcher not through mutations, but through her actions, training, and personal choices. Anyways, let's move on to the next point, which I think is pretty important as well. Point number 4, thematic exploration of the Witcher concept. See, in the Witcher 3 video game, it explores what it truly means to be a Witcher. While mutations are traditionally required, the core values of a Witcher, hunting monsters, protecting the innocent, and embracing a life of hardship, are embodied by Ciri herself. In her journey with Geralt, Ciri proves capable of fighting monsters that even Witchers struggle to defeat. And like Geralt, Ciri rejects power and politics, choosing a life of freedom and responsibility. This thematic choice aligns her with the Witcher code of neutrality and independence. By emphasizing Ciri's deeds and choices, The Witcher 3 expands the definition of a Witcher beyond biology and mutation, allowing her to earn the title through merit and legacy. Now I'll talk about this final point, which I think really solidifies why Ciri can become a Witcher, which is Ciri's Elder Blood as an alternative mutation. Ciri has Elder Blood. We know that. I've mentioned it several times in this video, and I'm going to keep mentioning it because I think that's very, very important, not just to the games, but also to the book. Ciri's Elder Blood can be viewed as a natural substitute for Witcher mutations. Her powers compensate for what Witchers achieve artificially through alchemy. See, her Elder Blood grants Ciri superhuman reflexes, magical abilities, and enhanced physical potential. While Witchers gain heightened senses and strength from mutations, Ciri's Elder Blood achieves similar, if not superior, far superior, I would say, results. In this sense, Ciri can be seen as a natural evolution of the Witcher concept, a being who possesses the skills, power, and purpose of a Witcher without the need of alchemical mutations. I mean, there are several things that we can talk about, but I think it's pretty straightforward from The Witcher 3. I mean, there are several things that I can say against it, and like I said, I've already said it from the perspective of the book, but at least from the perspective of the games, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt in particular, while Ciri lacks the traditional mutations of a Witcher, that game makes a strong case that she can indeed become a Witcher in both functionality and identity. Her combat skills and training match Witcher standards. Her Elder Blood powers replace the need for signs and mutation. She embraces the values and lifestyles of a Witcher. The Witcher ending allows her to symbolically and thematically become a Witcher. So Ciri proves that being a Witcher is not solely about mutations, it is about skill, choice, and a commitment to a life of monster hunting and protecting the innocent. As Geralt himself acknowledges, Ciri chooses her own path, and if that path leads to becoming a Witcher, then she has earned the title in every way that matters. So there you have it. That's all I have to say about Ciri becoming a Witcher in this video, and I will soon be making another video where I'm going to talk about how The Witcher 4 actually missed the mark. In what way and how so? Well, we'll talk about that in the next video. Until then, stay gaming, gamers.